Hey, welcome everybody to Finding Your Worth and Abundance. And thank you for joining. My name is Fran Lambert. I am a certified health coach and life coach, personal trainer, and area manager with Arbonne. And today I'm talking about worth and also clarifying your why and vision. So worth is defined as an equivalent in value to the sum or item that is being specified, or a value and equivalent to that somebody is referring to. And we all come into this life the same: a blank canvas, clean slate, and somehow, by the time we are an adolescent, many of us have learned what worth means or what our perception is of worth. And sometimes it's not really a good perception. However, we go by what we are taught by the people that we respect the most in our lives, which are our caretakers, which are not always parents, but they might be grandparents, or they could be other relatives, or if you're adopted, your foster parents. So we look to these adults to fill in the blanks and give us help with the perceptions that we grow up with, which sometimes can lead to limiting beliefs and patterns. So when I was brought up in Rhode Island by a middle class mother and father, and I learned very quickly that work was, in their perception, was their worth and their value, and that the harder you worked, the better you were. So at a very young age, I would bring home straight A's, and they'd be like, yeah, that's great. And so I equated my worth with how well I did in school, and then into my adult life, like how well I did in my work. And I was fortunate to get a great education, and I was fortunate to, throughout my life, be able to have positions that allow me to use my intellect and also to create a great living for my family. And so for years, I just turned, well, I'm almost 61. So for years, I thought that my worth was equal to the amount of work that I did and the amount of money that I brought in. So fast forward 8 years ago, I was cut off by a person who was texting and incurred a head-on collision and traumatic brain injury. And so my career of being in medical sales, and also always, I've been a trainer for 40 years, actually 40 plus, and a coach for 30 years before anybody really knew what that was. So suddenly my life stopped, and I had to learn how to remember things, like really menial things. And so suddenly I felt unworthy, because my perception was always that my worth was what I did in life, in work, and how much money I brought in and things like that. And even though now I can look back at it as a blessing and an opportunity to grow and evolve, then I felt like my worth had suddenly diminished, even though I know that not to be true now. So it took several years, and I mean, probably about 3 or 4 years, to be able to understand that my worth is not equated to the amount of work that I do. It's who I am, and the gifts that I can give to the people that I love, and the people that I train, and the people that I coach. So, it's taken a long time to figure that out, but I'm glad that I finally did. So other things that I learned that have helped me learn my worth is that I have really understood that clarifying our why is critical. And the reason that I feel that it's critical is that it makes us who we are. We get up in the morning because of who we are, or we sleep late, or we go to the gym because of who we are and who our identity is. But it's also about our why. And so today we'll clarify our why, your why. And it's the reason that you are who you are, that you work at what you do, that you beautiful women are coaches and people that motivate other people. And if your vision is not clear enough, then when the going gets tough, you forget your why, you forget your vision, and you let your vision and why lapse. So, your vision is a preview to your life's coming attractions and is a mental image of your future. You are the author of your life. You have the potential to be anything you want to be and to give whatever you want to the world. Vision it without action is only a dream. It's the growth, self development, habits that strengthen your vision and give you the ability to change the world. And I know the world is very, very big, but even we can make a small ripple and that ripple can grow. So I think it's important for people to understand that when you don't have a why, it's like a ship that is going, a ship that's leaving the dock with no GPS, no destination, and you wander through life wondering, what is it all about? So, people who have a sense of purpose are often seen as unstoppable. And a lot of times people think, oh, you've always been that way. But most of the people that have a purpose and a vision haven't been that way their whole lives. It's taken them many years to develop that. And so some of the things that have helped me establish my why are tools that I've learned from other people and other successful people and people that have created many of the wonderful things that we have in the world. And some of the common attributes are that, they typically are readers, they are meditators, or they do some form of meditation or silent thinking, or like AMBA, the Qigong. And they take time to get into that parasympathetic nervous system and shut down the flight or fight response that many of us live with in this life. They also they find people, like-minded people, to become a community. And I think that's part of the reason that we're all dots, because we found our community of people who build us up instead of typically, some people tear you down. So my experience, 5 years being a dot, I have found that they are the people that build you up and that help you create a vision and a why. So I challenge all of you to take 5 minutes to identify your why. And the way that I did it is I got a blank piece of paper, and I know Amba loves working with yellow paper and a pencil because it's more effective, and writing down everything that you feel contributes to your why. Because you can have a big why, like, oh, I love my family, or I do everything for my family, or whatever it is, whatever your why is. But you have to really narrow it down to a specific. Um, and so, my big why is to be able to provide people with the tools that they need to experience a life of their design. And, but the smaller why is my family. Like, everything begins and ends with my family. I have 5 children, 6 grandchildren. My mom's still alive. She's 90. So all of these people are pretty much my core. So that's where my why begins, and then it flourishes out. So that would take about 5 minutes. So that's something that I would challenge everybody to do. And then when you're clear with your why, move on to identifying your vision. Because again, your why is just your why, but your vision is the action that allows you to expand on that purpose and expand on your life why. And then lastly, identify 3 steps, action steps. So steps that are specific and measurable. So for example, if your why, and again, your why can change. But if your why is you want to live a healthy life, that's your big why. And then your next why is you want to maintain your ideal weight or get to your ideal weight. That's also something that can be considered a why. Then the action steps would be to eat a nutrient-rich meal plan, to move, and to also create an environment that's healthy for mindset. So you've got to have all of those components for you to be able to maintain an ideal weight. That's how the body works. It loves to get back into homeostasis, which is a steady state, and it's always trying to bring us back to that balance. So 3 action steps that will help you accomplish your why and fulfill your vision. So, my closing remarks are that, again, you're the author of your story. You have the potential to create that and create the vision and create the life that you were destined to have. And even though it's possible that your perception of your worth has waned through the years and you're not really sure if you feel worthy or deserving, and you've taken the first step to coming to this to learn about worth and bringing abundance and allowing us hopefully to impart 1 nugget or 2 nuggets or maybe more than that, but impart something that can help you live a better life than you have been. So I appreciate all of you for coming. And my offer is that I can do a free wellness assessment. Usually takes about 30 minutes. And I want to use my 40 plus years of experience in the medical field to help you, again, identify something that you would like to do that for some reason, whatever the reason, that you would like to do, and help you create some action steps around that. And then the last thing is, well, no really other prompts unless you have questions. So if you do have questions, you can email me at lambertfran08@gmail.com. That's lambertfran08@gmail.com. And my pleasure to answer any questions that you might have. So thank you, and thank you, Amba, and nice to meet all you lovely ladies.